Thank you very much.
You know, I already feel connected tonight with all of you because we've eaten family style. How is that to bring us together, to start the, they say great things happen over good food, and tonight we hope that's certainly the case. I'm Mayor Bill Curran, Mayor of the City of Hudson, Ohio, and as what was previously said to you, is currently serving as the chairman of the Northeastern Ohio Mayors and City Managers Association. I want to make it really clear here tonight that we all understand that while there is an enormous amount of negative economic news emanating from Wall Street, emanating from Washington, and we are affected by that, for sure. But we are more affected by how we collaborate. Our future is more dependent upon us and our interconnectivity and our collaboration than anything else. So what we do together is what's going to determine our future and the future for our children. There is great hope because we're in the wonderful position of studying and looking at all of the other collaborations, not only domestically, but globally, and selecting the best practices of those collaborations and moving forward and uniquely developing something that will overlay all of Northeastern Ohio. There is strength in Northeastern Ohio. As what Laura mentioned, the regional economy of Northeastern Ohio is $70 billion. And in 1992, it was only $130 billion. It's grown $40 billion, and that's adjusted for inflation. That's in a larger economy than most countries of the world. Less than 1% of the countries of the world have a larger economy than just Northeastern Ohio. Okay, and that's with 4.1 million people. We have wonderful assets, and you know what? We have to talk about those assets. We have to be the greatest cheerleaders for Northeastern Ohio in everything that we do day in and day out, not just for our own communities, but for Northeastern Ohio and for our fellow communities. And that's why the Northeastern Ohio Mayors and City Managers Association was formed. Tonight we're going to talk about what we've been doing for the last year and a half, 2 years, of discussing regionalism. Now, regionalism is a big word. There's lots of different forms of regionalism. The only thing that the Mayors Association is focused on is regional economic development, and that's based upon a strong foundation of smart land use planning and infrastructure planning, and with a caveat of new growth. Remember that word, new growth revenue sharing. So everybody participates and everybody wins. There are no losers in this. There's no takeaway, okay? And as we work together, our voice will be heard in the global marketplace stronger, and we will receive the benefits of that with drawing a line in the sand. And if it's tonight, then it's tonight, as the Council Association and the Mayors Association determine to collaborate and show a role model of governance for all of our citizens. So let's get into the presentation. We're going to have time for questions and answers. At least we'll have time for questions. I don't know if we'll have all the answers for you, but we'll do our best. But I always want to make sure that if anybody has a cell phone, if you would kindly silence it, we'd greatly appreciate it. I left mine in the car just to make absolutely certain. And joining me tonight is my colleague, Mayor Bruce Akers. He's been the mayor of Pepper Pike for 17 years and was on council in Pepper Pike for 16 years before that. So I'm a newbie in comparison. I've been the mayor of Hudson for 5 years. Why does this matter? Because collectively, the efforts have led us to taking the next step to region-wide growth and planning and revenue sharing. But it's with your support that we're going to be able to move forward on this. And it's the old adage, if everybody does something, then no one has to do everything. And that's really powerful. That's very, very powerful. What we've learned so far. We know clearly that the go it alone, winner take all mentality and system that we have in place for economic development doesn't work. It's regressive and it's hurting us. We have a bigger voice to be utilized as a region than we do as individual cities. And of course, we have within the region we have a city as large as 450,000 people, and we have metropolitan municipalities as small as 117 people. So we have a wide range of municipalities and governance. Region-wide planning and revenue sharing are starting already to change the way we think and do things. We need to get out of the silo thinking that we have been subject to for so many years and think collaboratively, but at the same time, this will involve everyone and benefit everyone, but it also allows us to keep our identity as communities, which is so important. And we must also look at economic development as a region-wide focus to bring in new jobs, retain jobs, which is so important also, from outside the region, the state, and the nation. There are certain things that, and I said before, land use planning, infrastructure planning is so critical in this. We can't do it without it. That's why it's the foundation, not the revenue sharing, but the foundation is that planning. This is a graph showing Minneapolis-St. Paul, which is one of the models that we've studied, and quite frankly, much of what they have done we are incorporating because they have many good practices. But look at the population growth, and here we see from 1986 to 2002, we see their population growth, we see their land use. I'm sorry. Here's the land use. Here's the number of households, and here's their population growth, and they're almost parallel. In 1971, Minneapolis-St. Paul area, 7-county area, installed a region-wide economic development plan. And as a result of that, and the basis was planning, as a result of that, they have had the appropriate development and infrastructure put into place. Matter of fact, it is suggested from that time, and that is about 2.2 million people, they have saved in excess of $29 billion in unneeded infrastructure. And at the same time, their pool of tax revenue share is now over $600 million. Their center city was the biggest recipient initially, and now they're a contributor. Think about that. Think about that. In just 30 years. Okay?